Trump was saying these people with all these sober and judicious, they're politicized, they're weaponized, they're incompetent, and they're dangerous. So I'm going to get people who are loyal. We're not going to have the mess of the first one.
I'm so grateful to you, Mr. President. A lot of people told me that I couldn't trust President Trump. I better get it in writing. And we did a handshake, and everything that he told me he was going to do, he has done.
Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi, please.
Just like Obama did, he fired almost everybody. And I don't blame him. That was what he wanted, people on the same team. But Trump didn't. So he's going to do what most people do, get a team in there. And he's going to get people who don't fit that background of Merrick Garland, Lloyd Austin, Blinken, Sullivan, Andrew Mayorkas. He destroyed the border. He was the Secretary of Homeland Insecurity. 5 former secretaries of defense, that would be Lloyd Austin, Jim Mattis, Leon Panetta, Chuck Hagel, and Mr. Perry have all written a letter to Congress criticizing Donald Trump's administration, and in particular Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump for firing a number of officers, including the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Brown.
What if I told you that the most credentialed people in Washington, those with the polished resumes and Ivy League degrees, have been the architects of America's greatest recent failures? Do titles, degrees, and institutions guarantee competence, or just the appearance of it? Victor Davis Hanson breaks down the myth of elite infallibility, the consequences of blind trust in expertise, and how Trump's second-term plan is about flipping the script entirely.
There's 3 things that they all have in common. Number 1, they're a reaction to 2017 to 21. So he was in there at the first time, and all of a sudden he didn't know anybody, and they all came to him and said, we're going to have these. So it turned out that Rex Tillerson almost immediately said that he was an idiot and that he knew better about foreign policy. I know Jim Mattis, I like him, but his idea was that Donald Trump didn't understand NATO and all these things. There was Anonymous in Homeland Security was writing all this stuff that he was going to internally block. John Bolton basically said Trump doesn't know what he's doing. So he said this time, I'm not going to have all this internal dissension. I want to look at the people who had all the resumes. So you have Lloyd Austin. He came out of Raytheon, and he's going to go back to Raytheon. He had a prostate problem. He was gone for 7 days and never told anybody. He was completely AWOL on the job. He was the person, along with General Milley, who told us that the Afghan army was viable. It collapsed. And he didn't, so he has all the resumes. Anthony Blinken, Secretary of State, he has all the resumes. As soon as they came in, they did about 5 things. They restored oil sales to Iran. They begged them to get back on the Iran deal. They suspended, by the way, offensive arms approved by Trump to Ukraine, and they started pressuring Israel. All of the people that these controversial people are replacing had what they didn't. They had acceptability in terms of degrees and experience, and yet they all have been wanting in their jobs. Merrick Garland weaponized the DOJ. We're never going to see anything. FBI, Robert Mueller said under oath, he was the special counsel, but he had been FBI, that he had no idea what the Steele dossier, I don't know what it is. I don't know what fusion. Those were the catalysts for his appointment. His successor, James Comey, said 245 times, I don't know, I forgot.
Really don't know what he's talking about when he talks about spying on the campaign. It's concerning.
Under oath. His successor, Andrew McCabe, lied 4 times to federal investigator. Bill Barr should have charged him, but he said, you know, what good would that do? And then we had Christopher Wray, whose FBI spied on parents at school boards meetings. I mean, so, and this is point, it gets back to the point about irony, about the Panama Canal. So there was going to be irony. So he said, to make sure that these people understand what I'm dealing with, I'm going to pick people who have been targeted by these people. Let's see, National Institute of Health, that is the most important of all the organizations. And under Francis Collins, they targeted people. In fact, they targeted Jay Bhattacharya from Stanford. They went after him. I'll make him the head of it.
And one thing that's really, really simple in economics is that when you have a persistent price difference for the same product between two countries, there is something deeply wrong. And what President Trump has done is a historic measure that should have been done a long time ago.
FBI, they targeted people. They put surveillance on Kash Patel when he was a congressional. I'm going to make him the head of the FBI.
We should worry more about your lack of candor. You're accusing me of committing perjury. Tell the American people how I broke the law and committed a felony. Have the audacity to actually put the facts forward instead of lying for political banter so you can have a 20-second donation hit.
Oh, I know. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth wrote a book chronicling all the problems with the revolving door. I'm going to make him the head of the defense part. Oh, Director of National Intelligence. Tulsi Gabbard, she was on a terrorist watch list. She will be the head of the Director of National Intelligence. So that's what he did. So it was an effort to get people on the same page like most people had done, on which he had not done in 2017. It was to get people who were not part of the establishment, and it was to get people who had been aggrieved by the very system that they were now in charge of. The American people look at all this, and they're not dumb. Everybody thinks they're dumb on the bicoastal.
In 2017, Trump walked into Washington surrounded by people who didn't believe in his mission. Some even worked to undermine it. He trusted the generals, the lawyers, the experts, and they failed him, or worse, opposed him. But in 2025, he wants fighters, loyalists, outsiders who've been burned by the same system he says he's trying to dismantle. So here's the question. Which team would you rather lead a presidency? The polished insiders who know how to play the game, or the bruised outsiders who want to change the game entirely? Trump's second term won't just be a sequel, it'll be a reckoning. The only question is, will the people around him finally match the fight he's bringing?